Good morning, everybody, and welcome once again to another roundtable discussion. We've got Mr. Gaylen Blosser over there, myself, Mike Stegall, and our two guests today, very prominent people here in the city, Mr. Ryan Delk, the Safety Service Director, and of course our illustrious mayor, Mr. Jeff Whitaker.
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome, buddy. Glad to have both of you here, and thank you for agreeing to come on and let everybody know what's going on in our beautiful city. And you both are doing an excellent job. I've known Ryan quite a while, and I've known Jeff a while too, and I think you're both doing a pretty good job. So, gentlemen, if you would, tell us what's going on in the great city of Greenville, and we'll start with Ryan.
Okay, wow. So a lot of projects. Currently we have a project going on our wastewater treatment plant, solids handling upgrade. So we're taking that plant from a Class C liquid to a Class B cake using a screw press.
Now, what will that mean?
So basically what it means, currently we do liquid applications. So we have tankers come in, we pump all of our biosolids out to our closed landfill. If you ever went down 127 and seen a big mound with a fence that houses our biosolids, we pump it into tankers, and the tankers take it out and knife it into farm fields. Okay. There's a lot of restrictions, a lot of testing that has to go on with the product and the field itself. It's very expensive, a lot of trucking involved. So Class B cake gives you a more of a dirt looking product that can just be ground applied. There's a lot more less regulations as far as like on liquid, it has to be knifed into the ground within a very short amount of time, like within the day. With the cake product, you can stockpile it on a field and then spread it more with like a manure spreader type application. So it's a dewatering process. We run it through our solids handling, which it runs through digesters. We pump air to it. We run it through a screw press and mix polymer with it, and then you get that finished product. And then that'll all be housed on site. So one of the things, we currently have a line going out to landfill that runs underneath the Greenville Creek, and that's always a point of contention is, you don't want to be pumping that stuff under the creek. So that's one thing that we're fixing out of it. And then cost and the amount with all the dewatering that goes into it, it really shrinks down the amount of product left. It's a major project out there, about $20 million, and it's going to include the solids handling and then a new admin building as well, which that original plant where the admin building is now was built in 1930, so we're pushing 100 years old here.
You get grants to help with that?
We anything we do, grants is number one. When you get into I'm not saying there are not any available. When you get into water and wastewater side of things, because they're enterprise funds, grants aren't as easy to come by. Grants are utilized a lot in the county. The Hollinsburg and Palestine and Wayne Lakes projects, getting people hooked to sanitary sewer that aren't currently on it is where a lot of the grant money goes. This project is actually OWDA, a low interest, they call it a revolving loan fund. So it's a 30-year loan, and I think our interest rate was like 3.3% on that one. So this one, no, we do not have grant funds, but we try every time to try to go that route. So that project is actually in the construction phase. We plan to be making product midsummer next year, and then final completion probably towards the end of 2026, getting all the bugs worked out and collapsing the tank and doing the whole switch over. So that's pretty busy. I don't know if anyone's paid attention. There's here the last month, there's been about 30 concrete trucks a day. They're building some big structures, a lot of rebar that goes into that tank process, and then it'll have a building that'll store it. And that storage, we could store it for up to a year. And when I say store it up to a year, that's how much storage space we have based on our flow rates. Because you're always, and we do now, you're always fighting the weather and the farms, when the crops are in, when the crops are out, compacting the fields, different things. So this cake product is going to really help that a lot. It's still dependent, on all those things, but it's not as crucial as it currently is.
Wow. Boy, Ryan, you really know your crap.
Yeah, it's part of it,
Yeah.
whether people want to admit it or not. We need it. It has to happen.
Saw that one coming, Mike.
I'm sure that there's other big projects you got going. One I'm interested in is, what about Schweitzer Street?
Yep. So Schweitzer Street we've been in the planning stages of that since 2020. So it's going to consist of a road diet on Schweitzer Street from Burt to the corporation limits. We originally tried to do fair to the corp, but grant funding. So we've received safety funding, and we've received small cities funding on that project so far. And the funding sources, there was a lot going on there with right-of-ways, and they didn't really like how we were trying to do it, so we ended up taking that section out, and actually I'm looking for grant funding to finish up do that section as well, but it didn't make it into the actual project. So it's going to be a road diet, what a road diet means. You shrink down a lane, you have a center turn lane,
Right.
a northbound, southbound. One thing that it does is it slows traffic down. You don't have all that traffic movement, somebody passing somebody on the inside and pulling out. There's a lot of moving parts out there. So it'll be infrastructure, some water work, storm sewer, the sanitary we're just gonna line, curbs, sidewalks. One side's gonna have, I believe it's an 8-foot path that you could use for biking or walking, and then decorative street lighting.
Nice. Do you get a lot of funding from OPWC?
OPWC is a big funder of ours. Actually, I was just talking to our engineer yesterday about it. We're going to apply for some OPWC money for that section between Burt and Fair, because OPWC is not as restrictive on what you can do. When you get into the federal side of things, there's a lot of red tape and right-of-way acquisitions and how you handle everything. So, and that section between, Burt and Fair, it's part city, it's a real weird thing. People don't realize, like, some of those buildings, like the front half of the buildings in the county, the back half's in the city. So that was kind of a hurdle that we have to jump. And then a lot of just how the time that it was built out there, how the parking is, and, the last thing we ever want to do is negatively affect any business in the city of Greenville. And that one just had too many of those to be able to get the grant funding and do it the way they were requiring us to do it.
I know the mayor, I believe it's one of your pet projects is the trees in the city.
Yeah.
I know you've always talked about that, and I know Ryan's probably in that, but that's a big project coming up.
And it's got a lot to do with this, and we met after the tornado last May 7th. It's been a year and 4 months now, and first of all, I got to say again and reiterate, the city of Greenville was tremendously blessed being struck by a tornado that never really touched down and didn't affect many homes. In perspective, we had some roof damage in some areas where trees fell, but nobody lost their home, nobody got hurt, nobody got injured, and that in itself was a blessing. And the park lost about 180 trees, so about like that.
Yes.
But right now we're in the midst of beginning our tree planting, and we saw the community come together right after that tornado, and the park is one of our greatest assets here in this city, and they recognize that, and many people wanted to donate to replace these trees. We had 348, I believe is the number of individuals and families and companies that donated money to our tree replacement fund that was handled by Zucker Bailey Funeral Home and YOLO, Dark County. They're handling the funds, but we're going to be starting planting in November, I believe, right?
Yes.
About 35 or 40 trees going to be planted in the area of the band shell and the swimming pool area, and it's going to be a the first of a 5-year project. We're planting them in this manner because it's much more manageable as far as watering the trees and the root systems feeding off of one another and so forth. All trees that'll be indigenous to this area. So we want to thank Wendy Van Buren, who is with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. She came and assisted us in the planning of this project, and it's going very well. And one of the things Ryan's been working hard on is a monument that's going to be going up in the park, in the bandshell area, right?
Yes.
And it's going to have the names of all the donors, and it's going to be about a 7-foot tall monument. At the top, the first is a couple of feet tall. Is actually a tree, so it's going to be a very nice looking monument. And I just want to say thanks to all the generous people out there who donated money, and this is going to be a great tribute to the city.
Sounds like it is gonna be. One more question for you, Ryan. Are you getting ready for winter already?
No, we're not. It's coming.
That's a project, though,
It's
isn't
a
it? Get the
project.
trucks ready?
Yep. Well, so I guess some winter. We have all the restrooms we have to winterize,
Oh,
the
yeah.
pool, the splash pads. Everything has to be winterized and button up for winter, and then you have to get trucks ready for snow and make sure you have enough salt and get salt ordered and all those things. And we're not getting ready yet because we're still rolling with project. We still have our phase 3 sidewalk replacement project, the maintenance paving. The pavers are supposed to be here next week, so they'll be here for about the whole month of October. We have a couple water line replacements that we just got approved that we're going to do on Green Street and then over like Chippewa, Arc, Marion area. They'll probably those projects will most likely go through the winter, and then next month we're going to start our water tower out at the industrial park. So another big project we're working on, and that's about an 18-month project, 1.5 million gallon overhead storage out there. So yeah, it's not slowing down. There's not enough hours in the day most of the time, and there's not enough.
Not to
nice
mention the
days in
trees we
year.
want to plant,
Yeah,
right?
the trees and yeah, it's busy.
Yep,
It's great.
Good. Yeah. I know you do a good job because I've called you once or twice about stuff, and you've always been there. So, Mr. Mayor, what's going on in the city of Greenville? That you're very familiar with downtown Greenville and all that. What's going on?
Well, Main Street Greenville is doing very well. We're planning the, believe it or not, the horse parade's coming up.
Yeah.
On Saturday, November 22nd, and we've already had our first organizational meeting in that regard regarding the horse parade, and the lighted truck and tractor parade is going to be going on again, and it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful parade. I know that the planner of the truck parade side of it, Rex Wyrick, is planning on getting more trucks involved this year. So the lighted trucks are an amazing sight to see. So I would invite everyone to plan to come down to downtown Greenville on Saturday, November 22nd. I'm sure Main Street Greenville will be having a bunch of things going on downtown during the day. So plan on making a day of it. What's exciting also in the city of Greenville is the new football stadium. The new school superintendent, Julie Jones, is doing a great job. And the new football coach, Steve Chanel, has been absolutely amazing, taking over this program. And I know you've talked to him many times, and he's a tremendous guy. He's got a lot of influence with his players. He's a very steady influence, and it's got the kids playing their hearts out. If you go to a football game, you feel the electricity in the stadium. More fans are coming. I think they started a school spirit bus to go to the away games, and that's been a tremendous effort to boost the morale of the football team. And I think they've got a bunch more players out this year than they did the past few years, and over 50 players. And hats off to Steve Chanel for putting this program, building this program up. And I think as you see the younger football players in the Pee Wee leagues and the junior high and all that, they're all going to be part of this program. And best wishes to them. We got a big game coming up Friday night against Sydney, at Sydney, so come on out. It'll be fun to watch.
I have a question, and I'm sure a lot of people don't realize, when you have parades downtown and you have to shut down the streets, and especially with the rolling 50s or even side streets, do you have to get with the state, ODOT? What takes place for you to be permitted to shut down the city?
So the city has the jurisdiction over state highways within the city of Greenville. So we're allowed to shut them down, but then we assume responsibility when that happens, and we have to set up a detour for people to still be able to move on state routes. So it's a very big process. You know, rolling 50s, I don't know, we've been doing it for 25 plus years, in my entire career anyways. I'm sure I know it's been going on longer than that. I forget what even year this one was. But say a new event wants to shut down downtown. So they come in, they fill out an event packet. We have a meeting with myself, the mayor, street, fire, police, Main Street Greenville, everyone that's involved. Kind of see what they're trying to do, and then sometimes we give them direction. You know, everybody was like, I want to shut down downtown, but they don't understand like the work and the money
Little bit
and
to it.
the things that have to go into it. So, you know, we, especially on new events, we try to kind of send them other directions, like, well, why don't you start here, and then if it builds. So that happens, and then, you know, city council has grandfathered in a lot of the long-standing events as far as the cost, because it's, you know, I tell everybody off the top, if you want to shut down Broadway, somewhere to the car show, you're looking at $5,000 that your organization is going to be responsible for. By the time you pay street and police and overtime and barricades and no parking signs and all the things, that's just a kind of an easy off the top number. And people are like, whoa, I had no idea. So a lot of planning goes into it. And if that's something that they want to do, you know, we usually figure out a way to make it happen. I always tell everybody anything's possible for the right amount of money.
Yeah.
Because let's face the facts, it always boils down to money and, you know, budgets and what you can and can't handle. So that's kind of the process that we go.
Speaking of budgets, I know it's that time of year, Mr. Mayor, and the county and everybody else, you know, starting to look at next year's budget. How's things going in the city?
We're holding our own, pretty much the same as last year. Income tax levels has been down from previous years. We had a couple of really good years in the early 2020s, but the income tax levels have been down, and we're trying to do our best in regard to budgeting, and we keeping all of the departments running at the same time. It's tight, I'm not going to pretend, and we just want to thank all the efforts of our city auditor's office, Kim, and everyone, Kim Davis, our city auditor, and everyone that works in that office is working diligently to stretching out all the funds that we had coming in and making it work. We've asked our department heads to trim the fat, and they've done a very good job of that going into this year, and we're going to be diligently doing the same this year for 2026. Don't know what else to say about that. Just want everybody to know, we were talking about grants earlier. Anytime we have an opportunity to get grant money, I mean, it's a common phenomena out there in social media land. Oh, just get a grant. Just get a grant. It's not that easy. If it were, we'd be, and I make a joke to Ryan too about, you know, the tree planting in the park. We went to ODNR, we asked them, do you have any money trees? They didn't have any. So we couldn't plant any of those in the park. So we're gonna have to work diligently and make our money situation work out. We're not in any kind of panic mode yet. We're in pretty strong financial shape, but it's our job to make sure we stay that way and not put us in any financial distress. We do not want to visit that.
You've been mayor now, how long now?
This is my
Fifth?
closing on the second year.
Second.
It seems like 5 years, doesn't it?
Golly, yeah, it does.
No, I took office in
Oh, that's right.
January 24.
Okay.
And this is my closing in on 2 years, and then my term ends the 27th. And
So what's your what's your wish and what's your view for the city in the future?
My view for the city is to make every effort we can with our projects that we have to draw younger families into this community. I mean, I believe 26% of our population is over 65. So that says something. And when I moved here in 2013, the population was just a little over 13,000. Right now, we're about 12,760 or something like that. So it's shrinking a little bit. It's nothing to panic about, but you still don't want to be going in that direction. We don't need for the population to explode. We're a real community, and we're a great community, and everybody. I view this area as an area where everybody's neighbors and friends, and we work together on projects, and we've got so many people that are willing to donate to anything imaginable that comes their way. The tree project, the football stadium are two prime examples. And I just want to see that community spirit and community involvement continue to grow.
Good, very good. Have you heard any rumors, I'm sure you have and you know, are there any new businesses looking to come into Greenville or that you know of?
Yes.
Go ahead.
We can talk about, but yes.
Yeah, okay, good. I just want everybody to know that, you guys are trying.
Yes.
Yeah, we
That's a good
always.
Yeah.
Always. You gotta look for that. You gotta grow, and a lot of people, have a concern about, well, why can't you get a big steak restaurant or whatever? There's so many things that these companies look at when they're going to locate somewhere. Demographics. They're looking at the average median income of your community. All kinds of things. Are we going to be able to support that?
Right.
Then you got to look at unfortunately, you got to look at the labor situation.
Yep.
People unfortunately don't want to work.
I have a question, and we keep this positive, we're not negative here on this, but there has been some question around town, and I think you can put a positive spin on this. I hear a lot about homeless community. Can you just touch on that quickly?
Yeah, we're no different than any other community, in my opinion. Anywhere you go, you're going to have it. And some are down on their luck, hard times. There's always the mental health aspect of it. Unfortunately, there's the drug and alcohol side of it. So it's a constant, weekly conversation with the police department and Chief Benji have just done a phenomenal job at finding resources and trying to get people set up in the right program to, get them back on their feet or moving in a positive direction. And they do a lot of community outreach and attend a lot of events. And Chief Benji has really taken that to heart and works very hard on it. I think more than anything, people are just concerned in general of what's going on. And obviously, you guys are the media, and you see what's going on, and they a lot of times go to the downtown area because there's resources there. There's food, there's restrooms, it's kind of quiet, there's people, there's a park, all the things. So they go to where there's resources. It's close to like the food pantries and all those things. And I know, like you said, keep it positive. I don't want to have a debate on where I stand or anyone stands for that matter. They're people just like the rest of us, and they're in their situation. I'm sure they didn't wake up and say, I wish I was in this situation. So we're going to help them any way we can to get them back on their feet. And, at the same time, we have to be cognizant of the downtown businesses and what they're trying to do. And so we work with a lot of different organizations to try to get them, the resources they need. And that's really all we can do. We can't, that's the old saying, you lead a horse with water, but you can't make them drink.
Yep.
That's where we are with that side of things.
Well, you guys are doing a pretty good job with that.
I think a lot of this goes back to the issue of mental health.
Oh, yeah.
And, drugs abuse and so forth leads to mental health problems and so forth. But if we had more mental health resources to actually, and then the ability or to get the folks involved to get help for themselves. If we can get to that point where we can very kindly suggest that they are, or if need be, in a more dire situations, if the courts would place people in mental health facilities to get help and treatment for themselves, I think a lot of this goes away. A lot of people see somebody laying on a bench, for example, well, why can't he get a job? A lot of times it's because mentally they don't have the capacity to do that, and a lot of people don't see that. And this has been a learning curve for me. I've been around the country in a lot of places, and fortunately in Greenville, we really don't have that many that are being affected by that we see. It's always, like 10 or 12 people that we're talking about. And like Ryan said, our police department, Ryan Benji in particular as chief, has really taken this to heart and is really trying to help the problem out and so forth. And quite frankly, in the last month or so, I don't think we've heard much about it.
No, it's kind of died out. It really
It's
has.
kind of died down, and I like the way everything's going in that regard. But again, we've got a community, and I touched on this before, we've got a community that's willing to donate to help out with food and clothes. We've got one young lady, I believe, came to see Ryan the other day about feeding and feeding the poor, and
good.
We've got a great community.
It's rural America, isn't it?
It is. It
really is.
certainly is.
Yep. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you both for coming in today. You're always welcome to come in.
Thanks for having us.
You both have talked glowingly about Ryan Benji. Tell him next time he sees me at A&B Coffee, he owes me one.
We'll make that note of that.
Listen, guys, well, thank you very
Stegall.
much. Mayor Whitaker, Ryan,
Thank you very
appreciate it
much.
very, very much. You guys are doing a good job, and we really appreciate you taking your time out of the day and coming here and doing this for us.
Thank you.
That's it for another session of the Roundtable here at My County Link. I want to thank once again Mayor Whitaker, Ryan Delk for their help in this. Myself, Gaylen Blosser, appreciate everything you people do out there. So we'll see you next time on the next Roundtable discussion. Bye, everybody.
Bye now.